and welcome back to the coverage of round 2 of the Isle of Man International Chess Tournament, sponsored by chess.com and the Scheinberg family. We just had 2 guests. I hope you managed to catch Hikaru and Howell on the show. It was very interesting to hear their thoughts.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I mean, they're both great characters to have on. I mean, we all know how strong Hikaru is, but also Eureka. She obviously is improving all the time, and she seemed to hold Wesley So quite easily in that game. Very impressive. So we're now going to move on to
the top board.
Indeed, and this is Caruana, and he played the Dutch today, and his opponent started, it seemed to, in quite a promising manner. He was throwing this H-pawn up the board. But then there was a couple of moves I wasn't very sure about. First of all, Rook B1 seemed a little bit slow. When you're playing in such an aggressive fashion, you should try to avoid playing such moves as this. And then he castles kingside in this position, which looked very strange, because the whole march of the H-pawn seems pretty irrelevant now. Caruana now played bishop f6. White took on g6, and really, I have to say that Harry has not worked well in this game. I mean, it should have worked a lot better than this, because all you've really done here is waste a couple of tempos and open up a line towards your own king. So clearly he needs some lessons in how to get Harry working properly next time. So yeah, anyway, he tried. So knight to a4 now played. The queen came back to d8, c4. So good idea there, trying to get some action in the centre. Black now plays a kind of stone wall setup, and white comes in with knight to e5. Now again, this move is in a stone wall is often only played when you don't have to recapture on e5 with a pawn, because that can do some damage to your pawn structure. And in this position, Caruana simply took on e5. White has to recapture the pawn at some stage, and there's also another problem I can see here. I mean, the queen could come over to h4 and rook h8, so it's really looking quite promising, I'd say, for black. Knight c5, and more pieces exchanged. b4, and now more pieces exchanged here.
You know what is what I quite like about this is when I look at the players on camera, I see the time ticking down. So I think we should get to the current position, because Fabiano is now under 7 minutes and they haven't played that many moves. So we might get some time trouble action here.
Yep, it's queen h4, and black going for this attack on the h-file. White has to run away, and now bishop d7, bishop g3 played. And
we had a couple more moves. Let's just update.
Yep.
The position.
So the check, and black has grabbed this pawn. Rook g1 played. So at the moment, black is 1 pawn up. Might not be so bad for white though. I mean, I've been a bit negative about white's play, but there's always drawing chances when you have opposite coloured bishops, which you have here. Obviously, this bishop on d7 and the bishop on g3. And we are getting to a very exciting stage now, aren't we, with the time pressure going on. Both sides getting, in most games, shorter time. So this is where mistakes can be made and lots of exciting stuff happening. So
black only has 2 squares to go to with his queen, either e4 or h3.
Yeah, I guess he's trying to work out, if he plays queen e4, is this going to be enough to win the game? I mean, the bishop on d7.
He's just played queen h3.
Okay, so he's kept the queens on the board, giving him more, well, keeping it more complicated. And both bishops are bad, aren't they? The bishop on d7 is certainly not great. The bishop on g3 is not looking too brilliant at the moment. I'm just wondering if this bishop gets around to g5 and in there, into f6. I mean, this might not be so bad for white. Bishop f4 would be my natural instinct to play this move here. The white king, reasonably safe, I'd say. I mean, it can try to run across the board. Do you think black can still castle queenside? I think so, yeah. You probably, I mean, we have to wonder where the black king's going to go. Do you put it on f7 or do you castle queenside? Let's say bishop f4. So I go bishop f4, I attack g6. But I don't threaten to take it because queen h5 check. So try castling queenside maybe here, potentially. So you could castle queenside, and I don't know. It's still messy. Still messy.
But here I like black, because I was thinking I can't really move my king away. I can't play king d2, I guess. I don't want to enter the d file.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very unclear, because I can always kick that rook away with bishop g5. So my king can come across. I don't know if I go bishop g5 yet. I want to play something a bit more aggressive, like b5 or take on d5
can try
here.
b5.
Maybe I should just take on d5. Let's say I take here, because if you take with the e pawn, maybe I have an e6 move at some stage, opening up the bishop. If you take the c pawn, I've got an open c line. So this is
maybe
really unclear.
long castle is too much.
Yeah, and with the time pressure here, as you mentioned, anything's possible, isn't it? I mean, it could. It's not as bad. It's not as bad for white as we thought, because there's only one pawn. It's opposite coloured bishop, so the pawn's not that important. So we'll certainly try to keep an eye on that game. But let's now move over to
a good friend, Lawrence.
Indeed.
Lawrence Trent, who apparently is messing up what was an equal position against Aleksei Shirov.
And hopefully we got a tweet we can bring up here as well, which I thought was quite amusing. So this is Lawrence Trent versus Aleksei Shirov. I don't know if we have this. And here it is from the great, the one and only Danny Gormali, Grandmaster of the world. And Gormali, very humorous writer. I have to say, if you get a chance to look at any of his articles he writes, he does write some great ones. And some of his books are brilliant as well. But here he's mentioned Lawrence Trent versus Aleksei Shirov, a real chancer versus one of the great legends, although that might be a bit harsh on Aleksei. So he's doing a little play on words there. And let's just go to current position in this one, Shay, because we're getting, like you say, we're getting to exciting moments of the game. It's an ending overdue. So
an ending bishop against knight. We had one of those yesterday in the Lenderman game, where he apparently managed to convert. This time it's Lawrence with the bishop, but the problem is his bishop isn't quite as good as the one Lenderman had yesterday.
Yeah, this looks very tricky, doesn't it?
I mean, also, it seems like the h-pawn is just going to drop.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what people don't realise that, a lot of these tactical players, or so-called tactical players, are actually excellent endgame players. And
because both involve a lot of calculation.
A lot of calculation and instinct as well, knowing where to put the pieces and just a natural feel. And I don't know if anyone's seen, probably one of the greatest chess moves of all time was an ending where Aleksei Shirov played a bishop h3 move against Topalov, and that was an ending. And Shirov's endings are actually brilliant. They're really, really strong. Yeah. And I think you're right here. Just this knight's just going to come to e6. I mean, if you get that knight to c4 as well.
Also, isn't he just going to play king h6 next?
And gobble that pawn up, yeah. I guess White's only chance here is to try to play c4 himself and try to get the king around to b3. So something like king d3 here, with the idea of c4 and king c3. I can't see any other way to gain counterplay here. Actually,
someone else who had a knight against bishop ending yesterday is my good friend Niels Grandelius, who's in the room with us. So it's good to have players come by here, check out our expert commentary after their games. So do you think Lawrence is losing?
Yes.
So
okay.
confirmation.
That was a
Grandmaster confirmation.
Very simple answer there. No messing about. So how did you get on today?
I won.
You won. Okay, good stuff. And I mean, it looks terrible. I mean, even if you win the pawn on b3, it's not such a big pawn to win. And I guess with g5, g4 coming at the right moment, it's going to be a pass pawn made quickly. Ideally, of course, Black would not want to lose the b3 pawn. I don't know if he's got a clever knight maneuver here. Maybe he goes knight d7. Maybe, I'm not sure about that one because you drop f4. But again, if I get mine, maybe that's a bit too much. I'm not sure, but it should be bad. It should be bad. Should be bad. We'll leave it at that. So, if Grandelius says it's winning. So move on. Let's move on to the next one. Okay.
Let's go to Hou Yifan against Devlin.
Double Anand, yeah, we haven't seen Double Anand for a while, and this is a young Indian kid, isn't it?
Yep.
Who's only 12 years old.
11.
Oh God, it's 11, even worse. But he's got a great name. Look at that name. Can you see Anand in that name? If you can see Anand in the name, he is going to be one of the world's best players. Would you call your son Anand if you ever had one, just in case he became a strong chess player?
Unlikely.
Okay. Right, so again, should we look at the current position?
Shall we do some material count? It's just
Yep.
2 rooks. I mean, it isn't very tricky. So 2 rooks for a queen.
Yeah.
Usually the 2 rooks are stronger. Is it also the case here? I think
so, because the bishop seems very bad here.
Yeah.
I mean, the knight's not excellent either, though. I mean, that knight's a pretty rubbish piece. I guess you I don't know. It's not 100% clear, is it? Queen's a bit
that
annoying.
square, yeah.
I would imagine black's playing for the win here.
Yeah.
Let's say rook d4, just so I can put a rook on d7 and keep things. I need to get this knight somewhere, though. This is my problem piece. This knight doesn't really have any future.
So what happens if you just take on g4?
I think there's a queen c7 check. Yeah,
dropping a rook, which is
or
a piece.
Yeah, so that's why. I think
rook d4.
So probably rook d4, and I don't know. I mean, how does black make progress here? Let's just say, I mean, it's one of those. Well, I suppose you can start hitting e5, do these types of things. I mean, let's say I go active with the queen. Maybe you go rook d7 and keep my queen on b8. I mean, it's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Can you bring the other rook, maybe?
Could do the other rook. I suppose that's... yeah, okay, so let's go there now. Queen b6, just keep on the this pawn here. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we need to do something with that knight, but I'm not sure.
I have no idea how this... I mean, you
can we go to e8, c7 and d5 somehow?
Maybe try this maneuver here. We can get this one around, something like knight e8. Bring that one in. I guess I can try to get knight bishop e4.
But I'm not sure we can ever really play knight c7. I don't think we can afford giving up the b7 pawn.
No, because I always have this check down here, don't I, to cover everything. It's not easy, is
it?
Not easy. No, I expect Hou Yifan is pushing, but it's not going to be easy to win that one.
Grandmaster assessment on the game before we move on?
Black is slightly better.
Okay.
Black is slightly better.
So black is slightly better, and we move on.
I'm a grandmaster. Do you know that? I just wonder. Sometimes you forget. You're like, is anyone a grandmaster in the house? Anyone? Anyone in here a grandmaster? I'm sort of sitting next to you, looking like, oh, you're talking about me? Oh no, someone else has walked in the room. They're like, next time, grandmaster. Oh, it's another grandmaster's walked in the room. Yes, I am a grandmaster. Thank you, Fiona. Cheers. Grandmaster assessment on the game.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
I'll get you a drink later.
Oh, that's make up for everything in life. Good stuff. Okay,
let's go to David Howell.
Good. Let's go to our good friend.
We didn't like his position so much earlier, we have to say.
No, certainly. I mean, it was interesting. Should we go through the moves quickly here? Because it was, I mean, what's the time here? This is a really important thing with David Howell, because he is known to get himself in real horrendous time trouble positions, and I don't know if that's going to be the case here or not.
There's a very strange comment in the chat from Burning saying, because he asked me if I would name my kid Anand, and he's saying when Fiona gets a kid, it's going to be named Gary if it's a boy, and Vladimir if it's a girl.
Vladimir, if it's a girl, Vladimir.
Vlada.
Okay. That's just okay. So what?
An interesting suggestion.
What chess? We should get this. We put this question out there. What chess-related names would be good for kids? Because no, you're not. It's not relevant. But we just want to know. We just want to know what chess-related names would be good for kids. Harry, of course.
Harry,
Gary. I mean, all
Freddie.
Harry. Freddie's a good one. I like Harry, but I don't know. Have you got any ones on top of your head? Derek the D pawn. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what happened to David.
So, yeah, so this was looking, I don't know, very messy, and it looked like White's attack might be getting a bit nearer. Well, Black hasn't got one at the moment, so I like Bishop A6 actually, because when you're defending, you want to swap off your opponent's attacking pieces. If you swap off light square bishops, your king will be perfectly safe. So Bishop C2. And I suppose now David has the option of taking on E2. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't take that opportunity now to take that knight off.
I'm going to actually press you a little bit, because I see, as so often, David has some serious time issues.
Right, okay.
He's down to 20 seconds and he still has a fair few moves to play. So let's
20 seconds. This is what was that? Where did that come from? Sorry. You say, what was that? That was, wow, look at that move. That's a bolt from the blue. That's worth seeing. What an amazing... The idea is, if pawn takes, we go bishop takes h7, and I think this forces mate. We looked at this tactic before. King takes, because there's queen h5 anyway, queen h5, and now you go g6, and the net has been made. That's an unbelievable...
And I think knight e6 is the kind of move you can easily miss.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is dangerous. So, okay, so queen d7, and white now goes the exchange up. King takes, so maybe though the king is a bit safer now. Is it worth exchange? Well, look at the white king. The white king is not happy here, actually. This is still very unclear. Pawn takes, bishop takes f6, knight to f3, and now queen b5. I think David saw that, and he was just planning this. I'm pretty sure he would have seen that coming.
The whole knight e6 thing.
I think he would have seen knight e6, and he was probably happy to see it, because now the king
He's feeling a lot safer.
Is a lot safer. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's move on, because they already have an ending on the board.
So, okay. Wow. Everything's coming off here. So queen takes b2, and wow, look at this. And bishop
count.
c4, and okay.
So black now has a pawn for the exchange.
I think this is looking good for David, isn't it? How do you stop either the a pawn? This bishop is stronger than the rook. The rook on h1 is completely useless, and you're threatening rook c1 check.
Actually, let's go back one move.
Yeah.
So
here, yeah.
Yeah.
So you could. I mean, You could have. I mean, David could have won the exchange back immediately, but this lets the cat out of the bag really, because now the king comes out of its prison, and it was kind of trapped there. And I think here, well, white has good chances. I suppose this ending you take here. What's
his 2 pawns up here as well.
Yeah. Okay. So this is.
I guess this must have been winning.
It's probably winning, but
maybe bishop c4 is just
maybe even easier.
Stronger.
Yeah. So actually, it looks like David. Well, why do we ever doubt these people? We should never doubt David. Did we ever doubt him here? Not really.
Never.
Never. Not once. Not once. And okay, well, I think David's just going to push this pawn all the way down to that square, and it's going to become. Can we call it Davidette pawn?
What?
Davidette. It turns into a queen. Davidette.
Yeah, but it's the a pawn.
Yeah, well, I know. It was
Aviette.
Aviette. Yeah, something like that. Okay.
Yeah, I think this one.
It's got to be good. Yeah, I can't see what White's going to play here. There shouldn't be any way to stop this. You can't.
I guess you have to play rook b1 or king d1.
Yeah.
I mean, or rook h.
I mean, you could try something v4, but that just gives another pawn. So maybe you have to put your rook behind.
No, but e4, I just have rook c. You need to do something about rook c1 now.
Rook b1's forced, isn't it? I think must be, yeah. This move just to stop rook c1 and get the.
But then just a3.
Then just here, and you're going to get something like this: rook a1, a2, and then I don't think there's any way to stop this rook coming. Well, even if it. How does black win this position? It should be winning, but I mean, another way I can win here. At some point, I can check you and take on f2.
Yeah.
Don't know if I should have done that earlier. It's got to be winning for David. It's winning. It's game over. Yeah. Okay, we have an interesting fact there, Fiona, from the producers. And that is out of 340 people in the FIDE list with Anand starting as their first or last name, only 4 have a title.
Wow.
Okay, so maybe it's not a good name to call your kid if you want it to be a great chess player. No.
Well, think again.
No. I think
Magnus is a really good... I mean, they couldn't know when they had Magnus that he was going to be world chess champion. But
Magnus is a good one,
it's a good name.
I always thought a name with K would be good, like, Kasparov, Karpov, Kramnik.
As a first name for your child.
As a first name, yeah.
Kasparov Williams.
Kasparov Williams, yeah. Karpov Williams, Crusher Williams. I like that one, actually. Might not go down too well at school.
Great. So let's have a look at 2 games which I think are over already. First Landerman.
Oh, sorry.
If you so choose. So let's have a look at Landerman's finish. This was an interesting French.
Yeah, I mean, we actually thought the position was very dangerous, didn't we, for Landerman here? We thought he has to really dodge some bullets. And he did play very bravely by avoiding a potential draw, but putting his king on e8 in this really weird French defence. But he seems to have always got enough play on the c file here. So actually, if we just go back, I just want to see how this happened. White went for his draw, but Lenderman's king run to e8. He went back to h8 again, really weird. And now, actually, this is a move I missed earlier on, queen c7. And that is defending actively. We have a result there, draw. Actually, okay. So Adams
that was one of the games of the day, I guess.
Definitely. So Adams held to a draw with the white pieces by this young German kid. So very impressive from this German guy to hold Adams there.
You haven't said his name even once there in the last. Because you don't know.
I don't know his name, that's why. No. I'm sure I could get it up. But
so Jan Christian Schröder playing an impressive game against Mickey Adams.
It's a name I should remember, isn't it? Definitely. It's certainly a name I will try to remember. It's
as I said, he's only 18 years old. So. We will have a look. Let's have a look at Lenderman, then we go to Naiditsch. And then actually we won't have a look at Naiditsch's game, we'll have a look at a Naiditsch interview. So let's first have a look at Lenderman, then an interview, and then we'll go to the Mickey finish.
So queen c7, threatening rook c1. So you haven't got time to take on g7. So bishop d2, and now we have this weird sequence again, where the king goes back to f8, white begs for that draw again, and oh no, white changes his mind now. He goes knight takes e7. I don't know who was playing for a winner or draw at this moment anyway. But
and we have a result in the Caruana game. What happened there?
Black won that one. It looks like he's won that position. But Caruana's won that position, and we'll have a look at the end of that. So we'll quickly go through these games. Queen takes, queen comes in, check, king f8. And now the problem we were always wondering here was the rook here, but it seems like literally white doesn't have anything to do here. He's only got one queen active here. Bishop takes h6 ideas are not going to work because the king can come to d7. So he's trying your rook f4 idea, and now he's gone for g4, but it's now Lenderman's turn to attack. And Lenderman's gone rook takes d2 to allow his queen into the game. Actually, this is an excellent game, it seems, from Lenderman. King takes queen b4 check, and the queen comes in.
And this is also a reminder of how strong queen and knight are together. They are very strong attacking pair.
Yes, and now check, and okay, worst case scenario, you're always going to pick this rook up. I'd probably try to go king f3 to g2, but king d3 is really, I don't understand why the king goes there.
But I think this was just to allow Lenderman to mate him, or no?
I mean, surely the game still goes on. If I go, let's say I go king to f3, this still seems completely game on to me, because you take my rook, and now I take on f5, and hang on a minute, this is really unclear now. I take on the e6 with check.
No, but I can take on d4.
Take on d4 check, and right, and you're taking on f5 next move.
I'm just a piece up.
Well, you take here, I take on e6. You can take with a pawn or something. I don't know, it looks a bit unclear to me, to be honest. I mean, knight takes, I go queen takes e6. Pawn takes, I go e6. It's not entirely over. It should be winning. You probably, it must be winning somehow. Oh, knight e2. Knight e2 could be the move here. Yeah, that's the move.
No, but
knight
e2
is probably the crafty move. And I've got queen g1 swapping queens, or knight takes rook. That's probably winning.
Yep.
Anyway, it's a nice mate in the game, so let's have a look. It was king d3. That's just like saying, mate me, please. Okay, I will do then. If you want it, I will give it to you. Queen c3 check, and can everyone see the checkmate here? Checkmate 2 moves. Harry, what's the move? Are you paying attention? Naughty Harry. Harry, checkmate 2 moves. Too slow. Queen d3, king e1, and there's a knight c2. Sorry, Harry, put you on the spot there. Checkmate. Okay, so are we going to have the interview first, or do you want to look at the finish?
Let's look at the finish of his game, and then we'll hear Arkadi's thoughts.
Okay, so Arkady had this, it was over very quickly, and the finish, well, we might as well see where we were, because it's only 5 moves more. He did go rook takes c2, and we were wondering what was his idea. We're going to find out. Knight g5, threatening mate on f7, and we looked at this before. Queen takes f7, big threat, so the knight moves, he swapped rooks, and now he just simply played rook c1, I still don't get it. You had the right idea, Fiona. You cracked it. You cracked the nail on the head. Queen takes d3, and Fiona said, I'm sure there's a knight e6 here, showing her great natural talent there. Knight takes e6. A brilliant move. I'm not sure why at the moment, but hang on a minute. I'm sure it will come to me.
But there's just a back rank mate, right? If you take on e6.
No, there's a bishop h3. Wow. What a slow move. Because I think after bishop h3, there's no way to defend bishop takes e6. You can't go rook.
I still want to make queen f8 work, but probably doesn't. It doesn't.
I think this is probably just wins on the spot, doesn't it? Bishop h3, because there's no way you can stop bishop takes e6. I think that's just end of the game. You can't defend that pawn.
Yep.
That's a really nice touch there. And the game went g5, and if you start throwing that pawn up the board, you're in trouble. Knight takes g5, and now e6. You've cleared the way, and the black king is just falling apart. That was very Fischer-like. That was very nice. Actually, game. I really like that game. One of my favourite games there, definitely of the day. Lovely. I mean, that's a really. If you want to learn this opening, please look at the whole of that game. That's really, really going to help you learn the King's Indian attack. That game. I think Arkady played it excellently. So yeah.
So let's hear Arkady's thoughts, and he was speaking to Mike Klein.
And we are here with Azerbaijani Grandmaster Arkady Naiditsch, the second player to go 2-0 after a win today. He chose the King's Indian attack setup against the French defense. Were you channeling Fischer? How familiar are you with his games in that opening?
Actually, it didn't came from the French. I started the game with first knight f3. My opponent is a German guy, and they are usually very well prepared. Actually, I have chosen that opening more just to have a game than rather that I prepared something very deep. Of course, playing this opening, there are some legends like Nepomniachtchi, who likes it very much with white, Svidler, watched a couple of games. Actually, it's a very tricky opening. I think I managed to get a very playable position after the opening. It was an interesting game, and actually he thought very long at some moment, and I think he didn't find the best resources, and basically I went through.
On the live broadcast, they don't use a computer engine, and they were a little critical of you giving away this c2 pawn. It's basically an all-or-nothing thing. Did you have everything worked out, or was it a little bit intuitive in giving away this pawn?
I think I even had a couple of different possibilities to win. It's basically a direct win. Not only the knight take e6 is working, I think as well bishop f1 is strong as well, so I was quite confident that it's already winning for me.
And you just got done playing the Olympiad, and you're living in Baku now, I assume, after the transfer. And was it more pressure to play the Olympiad in front of your home country?
From chess point of view, of course, it was a disaster. We done very badly. It was, I think, it was very well organized. It was a great Olympiad. It was just so pity that we really been doing badly.
And a lot of couples are playing here in the Isle of Man, and it's kind of a nice little retreat. Are you treating this, I'm not going to say less seriously, but is it kind of half holiday, half tournament for this event?
I think it's a very serious tournament. It's greatly seeded. If you see the top 3 Americans taking part, you have basically 3 guys out of top 10 participating in an open tournament. My wife, she actually been the first to be here on the first edition. Last year we came already together as a couple. We liked it very much here in Isle of Man, and we want to definitely be back. So now we are back. We're happy to be here. It's a great event, a great venue. We're happy to be participants of it.
Fantastic, and you are on pace to play perhaps one of those American players, depending on how things go later on, Grandmaster Arkady Naiditsch.
So some interesting thoughts there by Arkady Naiditsch, and again, a brilliant game. Make sure you check it out in case you haven't. So let's go back to the chess and back to Women's World Champion Hou Yifan, who I think is in the process of converting her advantage.
Yeah, definitely, and we actually thought this was going to be quite hard to convert because of the bad placement of the knight on g7, but things have changed very quickly over the last 10 minutes or so. In this position, well, white played queen to b6, which just looks okay, rook to d7, h3, and now rook to d5. And maybe white should have put this queen on somewhere like b8, I thought. That was more active. It guards that pawn, and it had chances to come over here in some lines, because okay, you don't want to start losing pawns in a position like this. I mean, you lose pawns, you lose the game. I mean, I suppose white could play, well, how does white keep a pawn? The other thing I forgot to mention earlier on was A5 was always going to drop. So maybe it was just very tricky. Too many weak pawns. Actually, this pawn highlighted and this pawn probably the main problems. So King G2, King G8. So that's interesting. I'd imagine keeping options of Rook F7 available. No rush to take this pawn.
Also getting the king out of harm's way.
Certainly, yeah. And just keeping this knight where it is, not worrying about that piece. King to F3. There goes a pawn. That's going to be very important. H4 and now G5.
And we have a tweet coming in from Sam Copeland. Fun to watch Fabiano Caruana analyzing after with his opponent. Love seeing super GMs in an open. Yeah, I think it's great. We saw them on camera. And I think it also shows that we are very lucky at the moment because the best players in the world, they are very strong at chess, but they're also very nice, down-to-earth guys. So it's great having them here.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I remember when Hou Yifan broke through, actually, really, and that was in an open tournament where I was commentating Gibraltar. I think it was about 3 years ago, something like this. And this is where she really broke through. She played in Gibraltar. She was a grandmaster, but not necessarily as high rated as she was. And she defeated people like Shearoff, and she came first equal with Nigel Short.
Wasn't it? She beat Judith Polgar as well.
She beat Judith Polgar as well.
Which was a big game.
Yeah, maybe a change of guard there, change of like the top, and opens helped her to develop. So, I mean, opens to me just much more fun. Yeah. Actually, Hikaru said the same earlier, didn't he? He said he's sick of playing the same tournaments because everyone plays so bloody...
I think you're exaggerating his words, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm exaggerating. He said he wasn't sick. That's actually too much. He found opens exciting because everyone plays the same openings in the tournaments in the all, the all play alls. So you get many more exciting games in opens. Okay, well, H5 here. And now the knight can get in the game, knight to E8, and as soon as that knight finds a square, and very cleverly Hou Yifan has got this F6 square and stopped white from ever kicking that away. So I think this is rather a desperate move now. Bishop takes A6 and queen takes A6, relying on this pawn, but that's not going to go anywhere against two rooks. It's simply not.
Yeah, we have a couple more moves. King F7 was played.
King F7, okay.
And so Queen B6.
Queen B6, so trying to push that pawn through, but I'm pretty sure that black will contain that pawn very easily and go on to win. And even the white king, to me, looks like it could be facing some issues at some moment. But okay, Hou Yifan will win. Now, maybe a player we haven't looked at.
Yeah, let's go to Pavel Ilyanov.
Yeah.
So Pavel Ilyanov, who's he playing against? Against Ilya Khelmniker from Israel.
Okay.
And what's going on there?
So we have Pavel, one of the top seeds here with the black pieces.
His king feels very naked right now, though.
It does. Another country, we mentioned countries where it's probably not a good idea to go to play chess if you want to improve your rating because they're really underrated. I find these Israeli players very underrated as well. I mean, they seem to be much higher rated than they're actually given credit to. They must have some really good trainers over there or something. And this could be a perpetual, could it? Possibly, I don't know. I mean, black up
Let's
material.
go, but I think they have been repeating quite a few times already. I'm not sure which, but can we get the players on camera?
So let's have a look. So bishop e4 check, bishop f5, and now, okay, so white happy with a draw against a higher rated player, goes this, and we've had quite a lot of upsets today already, and so going for this move, king f6 played, and I'm assuming now if the queen goes to f8, if black wants to win this, black has to go king here, but this is still going to be a draw. Queen c8 check looks like the way to draw this to me. Queen c8 check, because
you can't afford to lose the bishop.
No, so you have to. The only way to keep the bishop is to move the king to f6, so then the queen comes back to f6. So,
and the game is over. Draw was agreed.
Is agreed to draw. Okay, there we go.
And the players are gone. We see Pavel. He was just walking there on the left.
Yeah, okay.
But the game is over. So a good result for Ilya.
Yeah, good result against a much higher rated player.
Let's have a look maybe at a game from another woman player. and that is Nino Batsiashvili, a very strong Georgian. I think she doesn't have the full GM title yet, but it's only a matter of time. She's a very strong player, and she's playing against Sergei Movsesyan with the black pieces. They've just made time control. She is a pawn down, but she has what is looking like a quite powerful bishop here.
Yeah, I suppose it's very hard in this position for White to make progress. But White, this guy Sergei Movsesyan he's a very strong player, and he's got one of these techniques where he will grind for a long, long time. He's not necessarily very theoretical. He's really, he plays untheoretical stuff and goes and he'll sit there forever. Actually, Garry Kasparov famously said something very rude about Movsesyan, because Movsesyan got to a rating of 2750 at one point. So he's been an incredibly good player, and I think he's very talented. And he was playing in the same tournament as Kasparov, and Kasparov said something along the lines, referring to Movsesyan, I'm getting bored of playing these chess tourists. You know, referring to this 2750 as a chess tourist, a weak player, when in actual fact he's a 2750 Grandmaster. You know, he's not a tourist. And in this position, well, okay, how does White make progress? White has the extra pawn. I'm assuming White's playing, but Black is very active. You're right, two great bishops, rook on the back rank, very, very active position. So it's going to be very hard to break through here. I don't know, but maybe White can think of something. I mean, again, I know I get a bit obsessed with the H pawn, but it looks very natural here to try and use this pawn to open up the Black king or create some threats. I would seriously think.
And I think we just saw Lawrence resign there.
And he
let's quickly bring up their game. I think we can leave this one, the Movsesyan game will go on for a little longer, so we can come back to that later. Let's bring up Lawrence's game. Yeah, we see the players discussing there.
I always find it interesting seeing them straight away after the game. You know, you can see Lawrence was on another result there, and it's a Tiger did lose that game actually in the end. So, okay,
won't be joining me again for dinner.
I'm afraid not. No, sad times.
Okay, so let's bring up Lawrence's game. See how that concluded.
Yeah. So, where is Lawrence now? Okay. Here we go, and it was always going to be lost, wasn't it, this ending? And people just forget that it's like Macau Tao. He was another example of a very tactical player from the same area as Shirov, and people just assumed he couldn't play endings particularly well. But in actual fact, one of Macau Tao's main strengths when he got into an ending was that he could play them very well. And okay, we looked at the position around this point here. So it's interesting to see how Shirov did this. After king d3, he went knight e6, c4. He just went to take the h5 pawn. He probably calculated extremely well here. And okay, one of the main problems is if b3 goes, d4 goes. So Lawrence defends that. And then, okay, f3 goes. We can see it's going really downhill. And those two pawns are very, very quick. And that pawn there is not going anywhere because Shirov can simply defend that square whilst queening his own.
But also at the moment he can't even push it because there's knight c3, so...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so quite a smooth game, I have to say, for Shirov there, and I think Lawrence will be a bit disappointed with that. I mean, we might see if we can get some...
And we see Shirov very nicely putting back Lawrence's pieces.
God, what a rude loser Lawrence is, not setting up his own pieces. I'm going to have words with him tonight.
But like to be fair, I think the live boards, I think often the arbiter is like in the foreground, the Adams game. Yeah. Often they tell them not to put it.
They do. Often they say don't touch pieces after the game. I think Lawrence just suspects that, you know, his servants will put them away. No, I don't mean that. So yeah, okay. But okay, a pity for Lawrence. Lovely guy, and hopefully he'll bounce back, because I'd love to see Lawrence become a GM, and you know, I'm sure he can become a GM, and he can still do that here even.
And there we see one of the main arbiters of the tournament, David Welsh, very slowly and very carefully putting...
I've never seen anyone do it so slowly. Look, hang on a minute, let's
If you're having trouble sleep, this is maybe a good thing to watch.
I know. Well, yeah. Watch the Arbiter put the pieces away.
Let's stick with that until...
It looks like he's enjoying himself though, doesn't it?
Almost done. Two more pieces.
Oh, where have they gone? Oh, there they are. There we go. Oh, what a hard job being an Arbiter is. You know, they get paid for their efforts of setting up the boards. And now he's going to...
What's next?
I don't know what he's doing now. Is the clock going away? He's wondering, what can I do now? Is he going to put
I don't want to get up yet. What can I do?
Can I put this on my head, maybe? I don't know. Oh, no. Oh, the spare queen comes out. And another queen. He's like a magician.
But there are two queens there already at the bottom of the screen.
In case they need more than two queens.
What's coming out next?
It's more pieces. He wants to set more pieces up. Where are they going? Is he going to have another king? Oh, what's the king doing there? God, what's going on? What's he doing with these pieces? He's getting so excited about those pieces, isn't he? Where are they going to go? He's making another set next. He's making a double set. Oh my words! What a fun world it is.
What now?
I'm really intrigued to see what he's going to do. Actually,
our
producers took it away from us. That was the best entertainment I've had all day. Oh, God, we want highlights on the Arbiter putting the pieces away. Someone give us highlights. Okay,
let's go to another game, and that is Pates against Fressinet.
Okay, so Elizabeth Pants, Pates. Did you say? I say yours Pants, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Pates,
but I speak German, so
you're from Germany.
I win.
Germany,
I'm not from Germany.
Is it Luxembourg just Germany?
We talked that through yesterday. So her name is Elisabeth Pates.
Okay.
And his name is Laurent Fressinet.
Okay.
So there we go.
Okay,
that's
thanks for listening. Cheers. I needed that. And
there we see, let's just have a quick look at the playing hall. As we can see, a lot of games have concluded already. But this game between Pates and Fressinet is one of the games that is still going on.
Yeah.
And what is happening?
Well, equal on points at this moment in time. I mean, the pawn structure is clearly better for black here because you've got this potentially extremely dangerous passed h-pawn. And if that h-pawn gets rolling down the board, then it's game over. You know, white's pawns are separated, they're doubled. Maybe something that, you know, this night I'm thinking is a reasonably good piece, but I kind of expect... I mean, white's quite active with the pieces. Oh, yeah, there he goes again. He's still at it. Did he just put them back in the bag so he could put them back on the set again? Maybe that's what he did.
I like how they are teasing us. Like, they just give us a second of it and we're like, we can stop talking about chess. We can talk about the Arbiter setting the pieces up.
But do you reckon he just sits there and puts them in out of the bag all day? Then if anyone says, what are you doing? He's like, I'm putting the pieces away.
I'm going to investigate during our next break. I'm going to go there.
I bet you a bottle of wine, he's still sitting there putting pieces in and out of bags.
I don't want to. I think it's a bad bet for me to take. Okay, let's bet. We haven't had a bet yet. Okay. So I'll bet he'll be gone.
Okay. When are we having a break now? If it's in an hour. Okay. Well, we can have a sports.
We can have another.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
Rook G4 was just played.
I think black is probably doing well here, but I am... Okay, white's got active pieces. That's the one thing that could be a saviour, and this rook could be coming into the 7th and behind, but I guess something like king here... I suppose you can go rook h4 now, rather than trying to go behind, which I don't really believe. Maybe rook h4 here is possible. And how do you make progress, actually, with black? This is the way that...
So let's go back. Could I go somewhere else with my king?
Yeah, sure. I'm just wondering, where can the king actually go? Because wherever you go, I'm going to try to hit your h-pawn, clearly. And actually, even rook g7 is not bad, because I'm threatening to take on c7. Maybe Lizzie's all right here. Maybe Lizzie is doing okay. Maybe. No. Maybe. Now, maybe we could have a look at one more game before the break, because we've had an inquiry about this. And he is a regular on chess.com. So before we take a break...
I taught you how to pronounce his name. Will you remember?
German chess player, Meyer. I knew it was one of the two. George Meyer.
Georg.
Sorry?
Georg. Georg Meier.
That's very rude what you said to me there. It sounded like a rude word. Georg?
Georg.
Okay, Georg Meier. Okay, Georg Meier, I apologise. Does he live in America now? I know he went to...
No, he now lives in Sweden with his girlfriend Inna Agrest, who is the daughter of Yevgeny Agrest.
Okay, so
it's a small chess world.
It is indeed. And Meier, like I say, he's on chess.com a lot. He's a very famous player on chess.com. He's one of the highest rated blitz players on chess.com. He's a very strong player.
He's playing against another very strong woman player, Diamante Daulite, who just got married a week ago or two to French reigning champion, Grandmaster Mathieu Cornet. So a very small world indeed.
It is, yeah.
And we'll see how...
Everyone's married to everyone, basically.
Yeah, basically.
It's a bit worrying, isn't it?
We'll see how Diamante fares after her wedding.
Yeah. I mean, initially I thought, okay, Black's doing well here, Black's a pawn up, but with this last move, bishop f3, very clever move, this bishop is aiming to simply go to h5 and then take on f7. And
I mean, even if you play h4 yourself, if Black plays h4, you can still play bishop h5, and there is no way to defend f7.
And that's quite an important pawn. I mean, I think White could be better there because the activity. I mean, if I go bishop takes and bishop e6, I don't know.
Because also you need to probably now defend your f6 pawn, because let's say you play a move like knight d4, then I just take and take f6.
And then you get this extra pawn here, and there's no way White will lose this. I mean, White pushing for a win here.
So let's assume I play something like...
Oh, he's still there!
And there comes Matthew.
What is he doing with the pieces? I really want to know. What? Oh no, he's looking at it. He's saying, look at this piece. It's got green on the bottom. Can we change the colour and change it back again? Because I don't like the green. I'll tell you what, I'll put it back in the bag and we will see. Back in the bag they go. I just want to see if they will move out the bag again. They're looking, oh yes, very serious chess pieces there. And yes, they're discussing how to put them away. He's already done this once. What is he doing, Fiona? Tell me.
It seems like they're having a...
no.
The knights are...
Oh no, look at that.
They're kissing. The knights are kissing.
The knights... And why is he examining the chess pieces? He's actually looking at them, and Matthew's going, what are you doing? What are you doing? We've told you not to do this before. This is your final warning. We have told you not to play with the pieces. Now, come on. I know you like playing with the pieces. Stop it. Put the pieces away. And he's doing it again. He's lining up next to the board. We could watch this all day. I think this is, you said this is boring. This is the best entertainment I've had. I want to watch it. We need a break. I want to go and watch them. This is brilliant, and I want to know what they're doing. What are they doing? I don't know. Okay, I think we're going mad.
I think we need a break.
We need a break. I want to go and watch them.
Maybe during the break we can put the arbiters on the big screen.
Oh yeah, I think we must. Yeah, that'd be great, just to see what happens.
So we're going to take a break. I'm going to go to the playing hall to see what they are up to.
I'm going to go and take a look as well. Yeah, I'm not the chess players, the arbiters. I'm not interested in the chess players. I just want to see what the arbiters are doing with their pieces. How many bags have they got? You know. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right, anyway, so thank you very much for watching us, and we will be back, of course, in about 10 minutes. So don't go anywhere. See you soon. everyone, and welcome back to the coverage of round 2 of the Isle of Man International Chess Tournament, sponsored by chess.com and the Scheinberg family. So we're now getting towards the end of the round, and we're going to have a look at a pawn ending taken from a game between Jordan van Foreest and Pierluigi Basso.
Yeah, this is a really bizarre pawn ending, and we were like talking about pawnings yesterday and how complicated even the most simplest of positions can be. And in this position, clearly White is pushing for the win. And here, White played a very natural move, king to b6, which is a move I'd probably play without thinking. Now, this might only be a draw, though, this move, unbelievably. And the way that White has to win this is by triangulation. Now I've got to try to explain that. so
I'm just being quiet, enjoying the show.
Yeah, great. I know. Oh dear, triangulation. Here we go. What is triangulation? I never get to this. And well, you can do some clever manoeuvring with your king. So let's say king to maybe c5. And I suppose another problem is this king can come for the f pawn. But okay, that would have won. But the more interesting thing is where the draw was, because king b6 looks so natural. Most players have played this. h5. Now king c5, king a7, and there's always this threat of king a6. So Jordan tries triangulation, but not in the correct way, with king b5. And here, black actually misses a draw, which is quite unbelievable, because after the next move, he resigns. And it just shows you to keep fighting, and king a8 was played, okay, and now Jordan simply played a6. And it should be easy to see that this is now going to be a win for White, because as soon as these pawns come off the board, the White king comes and munches the pawn on f5. So that's quite straightforward. So how could Black actually gain this unbelievable draw here? Well, there's only really one other move he can try, king b8. And now what happens here if king b6? We'll look at king b6 first. a6 is another option.
The point is that the king gets away, I guess.
Yeah, if a6, I guess the black king's nearer to the centre now because it's not in the corner, and you can probably take this one and then bring your king very quickly somewhere like this. Let's say here, here, and this should be a draw. You still have to be a bit careful here, but it is a technical draw. In the game, king b6 looks like the most natural option, and it's a draw. Unbelievable. You go king a8. How does White make progress? Well, the only way he's going to make progress is by going a6. Looks completely winning. King c7 doesn't work, allows a black king in. And after a6, I'm assuming that now this very crafty move, you don't take the pawn because this is easily winning. Like we said before, the white king stops the black king from ever coming forwards and munches, 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 munches. So you actually now play king b8. And I think this is a draw, because what are White's options here? Well, again, if he moves his king anywhere, you can then take the pawn and we get the same thing. The black king comes towards the centre. That's a draw. If you take on b7, black only has one move, which is h4. And now, well, if White takes that pawn, it's stalemate. That's a draw, stalemate. And you can't really do anything else there because this pawn is going to queen first, so that's quite an easy draw. And, well, if you go a7 check, you'll probably lose the game because of king a8, and it's zugzwang here, because the white king has to move and black will win this game. So quite crazy draw, that one. Really, really hard to see. I think my highlight has been, as people saw on our quick break there though, the Arbiter setting up the pieces. What was that all about? I went for a break, I came back, and the Arbiter was still there with his bag, putting pieces in and out of the bag. It's funny how people amuse themselves, isn't it? But anyway, that was very strange. So I think I must have won the bet there, Fiona, but we didn't really have one, did we? So
yeah, we decided not to.
Indeed. I was just speaking to Lawrence Trent, actually. He was obviously a bit upset. He said he could have held the ending as a draw with a b4 move. Spoke to Mickey. Mickey was a little bit upset as well, obviously, but it was a very tough game for Mickey because he got out-prepared today. And we have David Howell in the room, and David had a nice smooth game today, but you forgot about your clock, David, apparently. At one stage, David... It gets a bit short of time occasionally, I think it's fair to say. I think it was on move 40 you started to chill out there, have a little think about life. You know, you're thinking what's going on, bit of philosophy, and then you realise, oh my words, I've got 2 seconds left. So it only just got there in time. So I'm quite glad that you didn't lose on time there, David. But a smooth game otherwise, I think. So you're up there with the big guys.
And up next, before we return to the games, we have a little interview for you, as usual, by Mike Klein, and this time it's with England's leading women player, Jovanka Huska. Enjoy.
And we're here with international master Jovanka Huska, one of the few English players to make their way over. Of course, she lives in Norway, but why aren't more English players here?
It could be the timing. I mean, there aren't too many English juniors here because of the schools. And schools these days in the UK are very, very tough on taking leave of absence. But otherwise, I don't really know. There were lots last year, and it's a nice community, so I have no idea.
Now, one topic we've been trying to figure out is, what is the Isle of Man? Some sort of crown dependency? What does that mean? All of the benefits, none of the taxes? Can you explain this?
Yeah, you're putting me on the spot there. Well, as far as I know, it's like a little tax haven, independent of the UK. Maybe it's covered under international defence policy, but I don't know. They have their own government, and they have their own currency. I mean, they accept the UK pound, but yeah, that's not too much. I know they have cats, a special breed of cats, and some sharks.
And I love your cats. Yeah, if you win a bunch of Manx pounds here, you better exchange them at the bank before you leave.
Yes, definitely. You'd better do that, because you don't get one-to-one. Some of the people were telling me they won some. This was the case in Gibraltar. They lost the Gibraltar pounds, and they tried to change in a UK bank, and they were told, it's not one-to-one.
Now, as an American, this place feels very British. I mean, there's fish and chip shops everywhere, but, you know, since you don't live in the UK anymore, do you feel like you're coming home a little bit?
Of course, you know, whenever I step foot in any form of like English speaking soil, I feel like I'm at home. You know, the cliffs, this architecture, it feels British, it really does. It feels like coming home.
The big topic in women's chess the last week, as you probably know, is that the Women's World Championship will be in Iran. I'm not sure, first of all, have you qualified? And secondly, will you play?
Well, sadly I didn't qualify. I didn't play in the European individuals for many years. But if I were playing, yeah, that's a tough question. I think, no, I probably wouldn't play. You know, I don't like being forced to do something. And I would actually love to go to Iran. I think it's a fascinating country. I've heard so much great things about it, but I don't like being forced to wear certain things.
I can understand that. It's an ongoing topic of discussion. We will get more opinions from more of the female players here at the 2016 Chess.com Isle of Man International. Until next time, International Master Jovanka Huska.
And we're back, and we're now in the final stretches of today's show. We're going to have a look at having to...
Hello. Are you right? Do you want... Here you go. Get that down, yeah?
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Yeah, all good. All good. It's been a nice, easy session of commentary today. Sensible as always. And, yeah.
And we're going to have a look at the game of Julio Granda against Hou Yifan from China. And I was talking about Julio earlier, a legendary player, Grandmaster from Peru, and Mike had informed me earlier that according to Kaidanov, Granda never owned a chess book in his life.
Wow.
So some trivia.
You can actually tell that from some of the openings he plays. I mean, this guy is a legend. He's got one of the best understandings out of anyone in the world. He probably doesn't even know a computer. I mean, or chess base, and he doesn't have a chess book. He just has an amazing understanding for chess, and the kind of position we see here on the board is his kind of position. He probably played some really... Look at his opening. I mean, look at this. This is typical. This is typical for him. Okay, he starts with knight f3. Nothing wrong with that. His opponent goes knight f6, and he thought, I don't own no chess books. I have no chess books. I'll just move a pawn here. And then his opponent's like, what's going on? What is this? I haven't got my book on this opening. This is not on chess base. I'm already confused. And already e3 and knight f3. I mean, this is not in the opening books. This is the Granda. How do you say it? Granda opening. We can call this the Granda opening. So amazing. He avoids theory and he just plays chess. But I do remember him losing in a theoretical line to Danny Gormalian 16 moves once. So
here in the Isle of Man.
Here in the Isle of Man, yeah, Danny playing his typical aggressive stuff. And the current position, okay, knight c6 was played by his opponent. And one of the main things about this position is the A pawn. What a fantastic piece that is. A real strong one. And there's also surely a problem. Well, okay, there's a couple of issues here, but that A pawn I can just see winning the day somehow. It might take a bit of manoeuvring to do. You've got rook b6 or rook b7. Both of those moves are sort of looking very interesting to me. You probably don't want to swap knights because your pawn's going to be weak, but maybe I just swap some more pieces off. Rook b6, you probably have to take my rook on a5. I take this one here. And my plan eventually is to get this rook to b7 at some point. And I think that he'll win this game.
I also think he will convert.
Yeah.
And we can maybe go back, first give a shout out to our ladies today, which I'm very happy about, of course. Lizzie Pitts and Nino Batsiashvili both holding their own. Actually, we won't go there because we just did have a look at that before the break, but both holding their own against very strong players. Lizzie against Laurent Fressinet and Nino against Sergei Movsisyan. So it's looking good for them, and I'm confident they can hold.
Yeah, definitely.
Those games today.
Ladies had a good day today. Harika drew against Wesley So with black quite easily, actually.
Also,
so
Deimante against Georg Meyer also seems to be holding.
That's another one. That's a draw. It's actually a draw now.
It is a draw, okay.
It's been a draw. And also, we see Naiditsch's wife actually drew as well. So great day for the ladies. And, I mean, maybe to finish the show, we could
bring up the results.
Okay.
And Hou Yifan, of course. I'm not sure if she is winning. So it's going to be an excellent day for the ladies here in the Isle of Man. And here we see the results. Fabiano Caruana on top board, who played the Dutch defense today. A very interesting game.
Forced win.
He got there in the end. Wesley, so we saw, well, both boards 2 and 3. We were lucky to have the main actors here in the studio, Harika and Nakamura. So especially a great performance by Harika today.
Very good. I was very impressed with her opening preparation, her willingness to take risks, and just generally I would not be surprised if she keeps improving. So great result, definitely.
And then Mickey Adams, as you mentioned, being somewhat out-prepared by Jan Christian Schröder, who I think got a deserved draw today. Yeah, I mean,
Mickey kind of got caught a bit in the opening. I mean, I think he wasn't expecting that variation. And of course, Mickey, if he gets into his kind of position, is the best in the world. But credit to Christian, who played very well in that game and got a draw in the end.
Yeah, someone else who got a draw was Ilya Kalniker against Pavel Ilyanov. And then on the next 4 boards, the favorites did show.
Well, apart from Lawrence Trent's game, surely he was favourite against Shirov. But yeah, I mean.
So yeah, Maxim Rothstein, Vidit Santosh, Arkady Naiditsch and Aleksei Shirov also all getting 2 out of 2. Then some games still going on, and there at the bottom we see Oleg Romanishin, legendary player, holding a draw against Khant Melkumian. So that's for the results so far today.
Yeah, so it's been a great day of chess, again, another great day of chess, but it's only going to get better.
It's been a pleasure being here with you again, Simon.
Wish I could say the same. I'm joking. It's been a pleasure, of course, Fiona. I love doing, everyone in the world, I love doing commentary with you more than anyone, so it really is. It's been great fun. So.
I hope you also enjoyed the show, and besides our nonsense, we hope we can occasionally teach you a thing or two about chess, explain some of the things that's going on. We have some very high level games here in the Isle of Man. Maybe that's a good time to remind you, there are 50 grandmasters playing in the tournament. 3 of them are in the world's top 10. So it's just going to get more exciting from here.
Definitely. And the games start at the same time tomorrow, don't they?
Exactly. Same place, same time tomorrow. Hope to see you then. Have a good night. See you soon.
Cienene, cute as me. Chess.com is about playing. At any moment, there are thousands of people from around the world playing on Chess.com. So whether you're a total beginner or a grandmaster, you'll find a game quickly with someone at your level. You can play at any pace, from 1-minute bullet to 5-minute blitz to 60-minute games. Or you can play more relaxed games where you have several days to make your move. There are tournaments starting every few minutes, or you can play against our customizable coaching computer. Chess.com is for learning. Chess isn't just about playing, it's about getting better. Chess.com puts the best training tools at your fingertips. Sharpen your game with over 50,000 tactics puzzles. Improve your strategy with training videos by top grandmasters. Get instant feedback after your games with real-time computer analysis. Regardless of where you're at now, you can take your game to the next level. Chess.com is for sharing. Join the community where you can discuss chess ideas in the forums and follow the latest chess news. Or join a club with friends and play in a league against other clubs. You can find all this in your browser at home and at work, or on the go with your phone or tablet. Signing up is free and easy. So what are you waiting for? Enjoy your game.
What were the best moves and biggest blunders from Baku? Hikaru Nakamura tells us what it feels like to be a gold medal winner, and the biggest news of the year, it's Nakamura versus Carlsen on October 27th. Live from the 2016 Chess.com meetup.
This is Chess Center!
And we're here with Olympic gold medalist Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura, fresh back from his trip in Baku. And as I understand it, in your last round you were deathly sick. Captain John Donaldson was going to drag you out of bed. Is that as sick as you've played a chess game before?
No, I wouldn't say that's the sickest I've been. Strangely, it seems that the past few Olympiads I always seem to get pretty sick at the end, and unfortunately it's ruined a couple of the events. I've lost a game towards the end, but nevertheless, I mean, had I rested in the final round, I think it would have put a lot more pressure on our bottom boards. And the strength for the U.S. team really was having a third Grandmaster who was about 2,800. And whether that was me, whether it's Wesley or Fabiano, I think that's fairly irrelevant. But basically, you have to be pushing the strength down as far down as you can on the board. So I think it was important that I played the last round.
You got through it with a draw, and now earlier in the tournament, in round 7 against Serbia, you had this knight takes g6 move against Grandmaster Marcus. Was that your move of the tournament, or am I overlooking something?
For my tournament, yeah, I think that was the best move that I played. So it was a very nice way to finish off the game, win a quick game in the 5th round, and then just relax.
Years ago, you told me you wanted to win a gold medal with Gadakomsky on the team. Bittersweet at all that you got your gold, but without him?
I wouldn't say it was bittersweet. Certainly it was nice. I think for me, probably the one thing that's strange is that it was the first time I played an Olympiad without Gada or Alex. And so really, in a way, I feel like I'm the last pair left. I guess my journey in the Olympiad started in 2006, and so it was Gada, Alex. I think Var played that time, I'm not sure, but also John was captain. So kind of it's like John and I are the last kind of remnants from the past generation or from past Olympiads. So it was quite nice at least to win a gold medal, and at least someone was around from when I first played in 2006.
There you have it. He has 2 bronzes, now a gold in his resume. He's now the senior statesman on the team, Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura.
Robert, for our move of the week, we're going to take a look back to the Olympiad, where so many great games were played in Baku, but perhaps no one playing more consistent chess than the Georgian #1. And now, I'm not a religious man, but I do study the book of Jobava. Show everybody how Bador giveth the bishop, but taketh away the protection of black's kingside against Ruslan Ponomarev.
Yeah, Danny, here Ponomarev must have thought his position was safe, but not so fast. Bishop to h6, blasting open the black kingside. After pawn takes h6, queen went over and took on h6, and here Ponomarev tried to get some initiatives with rook takes c3, but after queen g5 check, king f8, queen takes f6, the attack continued. Black tried rook takes d3 and actually resigned after pawn takes d3. The reason being that a protective move like rook to e8 does not work out. The simple rook to e1 actually does the trick, throwing rook takes e6. and if black goes rook takes e7, now queen h8 delivers checkmate.
Lots of tactics there, but don't be frustrated, home fans. The point is, a beautiful attack is finished off nicely, and Jobava takes our move of the week.
Hey, Rafa. Have you seen my medal?
What are you talking about?
Peter Dockers was on site in Baku covering the Olympiad. He's here now to give us the big stories on how things wrapped up.
Absolutely, Danny. Well, for the very first time in 40 years, it was the USA who won the gold medal in Baku. They edged out Ukraine on tiebreak, with both finishing on 20 match points. Never seen before, actually, at an Olympiad. And it was a top seeds Russia. Again, not winning gold, not silver. They ended up winning bronze.
But it was an exciting finish, including the tiebreak controversy. Now, let's move on to things and how things broke down in the women's division.
Yeah, also there Russia had a disappointing result. They didn't even win any medal there. In the last round they played against China, who are already 2 points ahead. And China won that thrilling final clash to win the gold medals. And well, Poland was the team in the women's that got silver and bronze.
Hey, you guys, have you seen my gold medal?
No.
All right.
No. And speaking of Hikaru Nakamura, ladies and gentlemen, this week, the big announcement that he will be playing Magnus Carlsen in the finals of the Grandmaster Blitz Battle Championship. Tell everybody when that will be.
Well, 27 October, so mark your calendars. It will be 10 a.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central European Time on 27 October. It's going to be on chess.com/TV and Twitch. And I am definitely one of many chess fans going to watch that.
The world will be watching. We'll be there trying to keep up with those two speed demons in what is arguably the biggest chess event for 2016. As awkward as it sounds, Robert, everyone loves a good self-mate. Show the people how Blagojevich blundered his way onto Chess Center this week.
Well, Blagojevich clearly does not watch Game of Thrones, because if he did, he would have learned from Stannis Baratheon. He should have retreated his king, which would have led to equality. Instead, he marched his king forward to h6 and actually resigned after the move queen h1 check, because it's a forced checkmate after king g5, queen h5 check, king to f4, and now queen f5 is made on the board.
Gotta love the smell of blunders in the morning.
Hey, Robert, have you seen my medal view since my interview with Mike?
Hey, Karu. I think I saw Danny with it at the beach.
That's weird.